Hey, thanks for watching Precision Rifle Network. This is Justin. Today we're going to do a quick review of Arken Optics EP4 6-24 by 50 first focal plane scope. Let's get started. First one is tracking. So this scope, it tracks very well. There you can watch several YouTube videos on people testing the tracking, and man, every time I could dial to what it told me to dial to, and it was hitting. So I know the tracking is reliable. And like I said, there's other tests people have done on YouTube. You can see them; they're just like cranking on the dials and spinning them back and forth as fast as they can, and it does not fail. Next, we'll go to parralax. The parralax is effective. I think I could get it clear up to about 20 yards. It didn't go down to like 10 or 15 yards, so that might be an issue if you're a rimfire shooter, but for most 20 yards, that's a decent parralax. The one thing I didn't particularly like was on the parralax dial, it does not have designated yardages. I think they introduced this to newer models, but on this model, the EP4, you just kind of have to look through your scope and dial it. So that does require it to take a little additional time, but I gave that a 7 out of 10 on that rating for the parallax. For a zero stop, I gave it a pass. It was a pass-fail rating. A zero stop is very simple and effective. Weight, I gave it a 5 out of 10 just because it's not super light, but it's not super heavy. So depending on what you're using it for, you can kind of make your own decisions there. It weighs about a little over 2 pounds. I think about 2 pounds, 3 ounces. If it's a hunting setup and you want to be very lightweight, it might be a little on the heavy side. But if you're a competitor and you want to reduce recoil, obviously weight will help with that. So I just kind of left it there in the middle, of 5 out of 10. It's going on to reticles. Reticle options, I gave it a 7 out of 10. This one has two options available: the SHR reticle and the EPR reticle. It's simple and effective. It's user friendly. It's easy to read. So the focal plane, like I mentioned earlier, first focal plane. So if you're a competitor, first focal plane is usually where it's at. If you're a hunter, or maybe you just like second focal plane, there is not an option for this scope to be in second focal plane. So if you're trying to shoot on a low magnification, sometimes the first focal plane scope is not the best option because that reticle will obviously decrease in size and it could be difficult to see. Moving on to glass quality, I gave it a 7 out of 10 on this one as well. It's got very good brightness. Low light, it performs well. It's got good edge-to-edge clarity. You can really see those defined edges with no fogginess around the edges. It's got really good edge-to-edge clarity. However, once you get out past about 600 yards, the clarity slightly declines the further you go. It's not horrible, but you can tell that out past 600 yards, it does decline a little bit. And also, when you're out past 600 yards, your magnification, once you get above about 20x, you'll also notice that your clarity and your detail kind of declines slightly there as well. So that does make it a little more difficult to resolve detail at those longer distances. The most important part of this scope is the price. So I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10, and I kind of debated on going a 9 out of 10, but dollar for dollar for a brand new scope at $600, I think it would be very difficult to find a better scope. I think if you jump up $100, $200, you can still find scopes of a slightly better quality that will outperform this scope with maybe a few better features. But like I said, for that $600 range, this is going to be on the list of scopes for sure. I gave it a 7.5 on your elevation adjustment. So it has 28 mils of elevation, total elevation in the turret. It's not bad, but I think with a 34 millimeter tube, you should be able to get 30. So I just knocked off a few points for that. Anyways, that's my review on the Arken EP4. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.